On the DAW, we open a session and we created one track, and the track is set on channel 1 input and channel output 13. As you can see, it has some sound coming in, and that was coming from the second metering stage, and I can prove it to you. I'm gonna head over channel 1 strip and lower the fader, and you see that the sound has disappeared. That proves to you that the second metering stage, looking at the DAW interface, is what you need to see if the sound is actually going to Pro Tools and everything is patched right. And it is. And see, now I raised it back and it's present. So remember, second metering stage was this fader. Nothing to do with the rec bus yet. The rec bus is an organization in the console to be able to meter and monitor your signal and check what you're doing, send it back to the people in the studio, etc. But the second metering stage is the one that matters when you go into Pro Tools over there. One other interesting aspect, I said the Pro Tools track is coming out from channel 13. And if we head over channel 13, now we're entering the second part of the signal flow. So from the tape back to the console. Channel 13 is this one here. And we have now the same procedure, but we want to work in a different way. Now we want to create a bus dedicated for all the sound that are coming from Pro Tools. That's called the confidence monitoring. You must do that, and you must always monitor in confidence when you record music, because if you don't listen to what are you actually recording and you only listen to the one on the rec bus, you might have a fantastic rec bus sound and a disaster mix bus, meaning you're recording poorly even though they are performing amazingly. You don't want to do that. You always want to check what are you recording. So the sound now is directly coming on the line. If I flip the source, you don't have any more input there because he's looking for another input. The sound is on the line because it's coming from the computer and it's already patched in automatically. You can still do some gain staging there with the gray rotary knob and not the red one. The red one is for the mic. And then if you scroll down here, is exactly the same procedure. You can assign the mix bus this time, not the rec bus, and you should raise the fader to make sure that the sound is going into the bus. We selected the mix bus, that's where we want to put the sounds, but we also must raise the fader, otherwise no sound is going there. This is the sound coming from Pro Tools. To give you a clear demonstration, if I, for example, lower the volume here in Pro Tools, like here, and I send it very little, then I go back on channel 13 and the volume has diminished considerably. That's what we mean. There are two different signals, the one coming from the live room and the one coming from Pro Tools. Now that the sound is assigned to the mix bus and the fader is up, we can move on to the master part of the console. So we repeat the same procedure. We need to meter at stage 3 and 4. The usual 3 and 4 metering stage, 3 and 4. This time not for this fader, but for this fader, and we have to raise it. Unity gain. You see, I'm selecting the mix bus here, and I'm raising the fader. Then this should give me signal here, which is correct. So once I raise the fader, and I can see now in the mix right, left and right meters that there is a bit of signal there. That's great, because now it means that we have the signal, and if I assign the mix bus now, and you look into the 4th metering stage there, you will see sound coming up. Finally, you can then select the speaker, uncut it, and listen to it. And you can tell if you monitor the rec bus and the mix bus, how different in volumes, because I purposely set it on 2 different levels. This is the level of the rec bus and this is the mix bus, so you notice the difference between the two. That brings us till the end of the staging of creating a signal flow.